It should let you all in.
Like 60 megs?
Yep.
That's crazy. They had us download a 60 megabyte file for this competition.
It's not that bad.
60 megabytes.
Yeah.
All right. So we want to debrief on the competition today. I think everybody saw the homework. I didn't give the dad's any homework.
No, you didn't.
Or the former dad. You're still a dad, but you're not a team dad. You're an old team grandfather.
I thought the homework for them was to watch that one more video I put in the group.
That was a good video.
I already watched
that.
it before you put it on.
Yeah.
Veritas knew what they were doing when they made that. I was very impressed.
Yeah, they do good. They do good research. I like sometimes they get professors telling them, no, you've got it all wrong. And so they'll get some big, once they did one about how current passes through the electrical field, not the wire.
Oh.
And boy, did they light people up.
Oh. Yeah, they didn't like that.
And they got Stanford or somebody to back them up, and they made this huge, electrical thing. Huge. They made something where they could demonstrate it, right? And let's do an experiment. And it's fun when you know a lot about something, and with other people that know a lot about something, but you realize that you don't all know everything you know, right? So they're fun to watch. Anywho, we're gonna go through that debrief. I can't remember exactly what I said on the homework. I'm not a details guy, but
you told us the young kids to have something to explain.
Yeah,
kids explaining.
Young kids something to exploit. No,
not exploit. They don't exploit.
The first year people, I think it was something you would like to have explained to you, or something you want to learn more about. And I'll get out Zulip here to find it.
I want to know one thing from each of you that you'd like the returning students to explain to you from the International CDC. Returning students, I want you to come prepared to share one thing you think we need to get better at before high school CDC.
There were more than one thing. Is that okay?
I have more than one.
It is. So, Dad, should we start with the first year kids or the returning? Start with the first year kids. See what they're curious about, or first year kids. You're not intimidated by these guys anymore, are you? I would hope not.
Okay.
I can't get Zulip on my screen, so I'm gonna share my. That's. Oh, what's that?
MSN?
Yeah.
Default web
I see why I'm not.
Copilot, that's what you're on.
Yeah, I'm not, the screen's not extended the way I expect, because I don't have my third monitor, so it went to some other setup. Duplicate. That's why I couldn't find Zulip. It was probably back there. Oops, keep. All right, this should make things easier. Now all I have to do is find Teams again. Share. Should make it easier. There we go. Share my whole screen. So now, whatever we will look at together, which will be a nice sense of teamsmanship and equality. It will make the table seem round. That's what it will do.
Round table.
Round table.
Arthur's round table.
So, I thought about posting this homework in your channel, Koa, but I forgot. So, and you're not a first year student.
You're a mascot, so you get no.
He's a returning student. Anyway, who would like to go first? You unintimidated first year students. Stare down.
Hans, I'm going to volunteer you.
Oh.
You wrote down your question. You should be able to read what you wrote down.
I can read your question.
Your dad made you write down your question.
It's crazy, bro.
You want to? No, read it. What am I saying? See what your dad says. I'm not your dad. I'm not the dad of you.
Share your question.
Go.
Bro.
Come on, guys. We can do this.
So my question is, how do you guys stop the red team from getting into each server?
That's all.
More than one question.
Yeah, one, a bunch of questions at once.
That's a big.
Okay,
That's,
do you want?
you have 5 minutes.
Answer or the 5-hour answer?
Well,
I'm gonna let you answer that.
I'd like to hear the 5-hour answer. Is that a problem for anybody except Chad?
Nope.
Okay.
Good.
Kid, man.
So why
We
don't
better
you give
go
a little
to-
more context into your question? We
Okay.
talked through this. Like, what do you remember seeing, or how do you know that they're getting in, and you know?
Well, now that they're getting in, you can see the login attempts, but what's like an example of a vulnerability they use to break in?
There you go.
I got it.
Yeah, you go ahead.
You want to share? Should I get rid of my share so you can grab it whenever you want it to show something?
I'll see if I can share my, I don't know. Where's the meeting? Why don't I have the meeting open?
Because you didn't join.
Sure. We'll go with that.
I should have
I
let you
guess
answer
while
that.
Russell's pulling that up.
You were on it.
A very common way. I mean, I don't know if you remember them talking about what's a zero logon. I don't know if you remember that. Windows is it added to the list of reasons why I don't like Active Directory. When you centralize your means of authentication, it results in there being a common attack vector, right? You have a one point of failure, your authentication stack. And Active Directory had this beautiful vulnerability called zero logon or CVE 2020-1472. I was able to check it using netexec. I have a screenshot of it, which I can pull up here in a bit. But a very easy way to fix a lot of problems is simply by updating. 90% of issues that are in Windows can just be fixed by updating. Eternal Blue is fixed by updating. Zero logon is fixed by updating.
Love
Because
this.
it leverages SMB guest logon abuse, if my memory serves. I remember reading through netexec. That's a tool that hackers use to pwn Active Directory networks. Is it an encryption abuse? I thought it was
Well, here's-
authentication.
looking
Yeah,
for
it's an
this.
authentication abuse.
Oh, sorry, I stole your share.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's an authentication abuse. And by doing that, it lets you kind of just walk in like you own the place, because you do now. And that's just fixed through updates. And that's just Linux is more nuanced than that. It doesn't fix everything like it does on Windows. But that's a more nuanced situation on Linux.
This isn't your share, right?
That's my share.
Oh, it was?
Did the red
This
team
was?
use zero logon?
Oh, they sure did.
Yeah.
Okay,
sure
were they
did.
successful then?
Oh, they sure were.
So we weren't updated?
Oh, we were updated. They didn't
Tell
work
me
on
what
me.
to do to put it
Well,
up
that's,
there.
I think that's his question.
Oh.
Is what's an
Oh.
example of how they did get in?
Oh, they got.
Yeah.
Axel was pulling that up.
Okay,
But
Okay.
so I'll kind of give you the TLDR. We had an endpoint on
I
our
did
management
also.
server that didn't have
I got it all
authentication.
figured out.
Oh, I see it.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right, so so this guy cloned our repo. That's not relevant. We did see the source code for the various apps we were deploying on his stuff, so I'm just pulling it up here because it's more convenient than logging into the server.
So clean versions from a static
Um,
analysis point of view.
oh, that is the wrong repo. Spring 2026. Okay, so in the management backend, it has all this Python code, but there was let's see,
Off.py. I think.
it wasn't the
Was it off? Oh, it was under vehicles or routes.
was it routes or vehicle?
I think it was.
It was vehicle.
I think it was vehicles. Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, so essentially this vehicles.py file, a user can query /vehicles, get what vehicles there are. From those, they can get information about each vehicle. And then an administrator should be able to set things about each vehicle here. And this is just, a lot of this is just database nonsense. But, I'm sorry, sir. But the thing that's missing right here is a decorator.
Mm.
So this says when someone posts, that means they set something to a slash followed by any vehicle ID. Then we'll set things about the vehicle based on what they sent. But you'll notice this just says where they're requesting, this at bp.route. But if we were to look in, say, payment.hi, we see another decorator here. This is require off.
You know what a decorator is, anybody? Decorator will wrap this function in some other code that's defined someplace else, and it just makes it a lot easier to read.
That and also has some fun features if you play with it right in the AST of Python.
So to, in this case, update their payment info.
If you know how to use them, they're really cool.
To update your payment info as a user, you need to be logged in. That's what this require off is for. And there's also some functions around here that have a require admin, which requires to be logged in as an admin.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that's interesting here is that in vehicles, to update vehicle info, only admins should be able to do that. Instead, this API is exposed to literally anyone who says, hey, update the vehicle info. And if you disable all vehicles, then ask for the flag, which is slash train flag or slash bus flag. If you do that, you know what happens? They get the flag. And of course, anyone is allowed to ask for the flag. That's a requirement in our scenario.
That's a typical pattern for flags. They find out the way to get it for free on one of the servers, they'll get it for free. And unfortunately, you always have to assume that some server is sitting around it and somebody forgot to do anything, so you didn't get to it. And yet they showed up for the competition. And so the red team will just scour this one that they get root on automatically and they'll find it. So if you didn't find this, they'll get yours too.
So if you guys didn't follow, they got in through the application, right? The bus ticketing API.
Yeah,
It wasn't like an OS level vulnerability that was taken advantage of.
They didn't log in or anything. In fact, they didn't even have to log in. It was just open for it.
You just show up and put in the URL and boom.
We don't know if they logged in, but it doesn't matter because you don't have to log in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had reason to believe they didn't log in. I saw none of the login endpoints were hit.
So they got this one?
Yeah, they got this.
Okay.
One. They got both flags, management.
Mm.
Because this was like the one source code payload that we didn't thoroughly audit. I just threw it in a roach jail and called it a day, or a roach motel, and then just kind of forgot about it. It's just it's what you call a troop. They're not too secure. It's a file system sandbox. They get the job done though. They were used extensively back in the day for honeypots. They still are, but they usually use containers now for the kernel level isolation that it provides.
Yeah,
containers are specifically forbidden. They didn't have it in the rules, but I saw it in the channel. So now I know.
Oh, shoot!
That would be.
We may or may not have containerized it with system D.
Does that include troops or
It doesn't
Docker?
include shrooms. It's containers.
Well, what do they mean by
They
container?
mean Kubernetes.
Like a Docker or Kubernetes?
Actual
we're okay.
container. Yeah.
We're okay then.
Because a chroot is just a isolation, right?
Well, that's what a container is.
But it can.
They mean a pod.
There's
a
there's a fundamental difference that I can't articulate right now. But
I may or may not have done that.
Because a container is more like a VM.
But yeah, think of a Docker software container, and by
No,
default, there's no allowed communication between.
Yeah, if I
If you
here's
set
the
it up
deal.
correctly.
Yeah,
here's the
the
deal.
default
If I
configure
did-
is
if I-
isolated.
If I root your Unix system, your chroot doesn't matter to me, right? But a Docker container isn't like that.
I know.
So that's the difference.
Well,
right?
I'm wondering,
The
because there's
boundaries
different
are
ways to sandbox on Linux, and that's the reason why I'm like, what do you mean by container? Are we talking like Docker container, or are we talking like a systemd container? Because I containerize them if we're going off of the systemd specification.
Well, at first you asked about chroot, and I'm saying, no, chroot doesn't matter. System D containers, I don't know. We've never talked to them about that.
I can't log into
So I didn't mean to-
Box anymore.
Yeah, they said it would close down.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay, so
Easy.
there's one problem was I've forgotten zero login. What's it called?
Zero log on.
Windows Zero Logon. And with Windows, patching, Windows is responsive about their security patching. And when they did, you guys probably weren't born, but when they got serious about their security coding and they made every programmer had to go through security coding training. And it changed their posture. It was a deflection in their curve. They started doing monthly security updates, the Patch Tuesdays. It entirely changed their security posture, and this is why
Finally had one.
well, SQL Server, which I work with, a friend of mine who's a SQL Server database genius, he helped set up the engines in Azure and in Google Cloud and in Amazon. And I said no to writing a book with him. I'm so stupid. He asked me, but he had this shirt. Oracle used to have this thing. It was called Unbreakable. I don't know if you remember this. And they said, "Oh, we can run Exchange inside an Oracle environment, and we will make Exchange unbreakable for you because Oracle is unbreakable." And my friend, he had a shirt that had this number of CVEs per quarter across it, and Oracle would have 12, 40, 26, whatever, and SQL Server had 0, and underneath it said in quotes unbreakable. I liked that shirt. It's like, where did you get that shirt, Tobias? He said, I'm not telling you.
I have a second.
Yeah, go for it.
Did patch in the back end.
But that was an exception, I grant you.
Oh yeah.
So
I remember this.
So this is the login function. So if you go to the login page and you press the sign in button, it'll query this.
Sorry.
And
Actually,
so,
can you zoom yours in? I tried to zoom in
oh,
because
is
this is your 100% on the screen.
that better?
You can just look up there and see.
I think I can collapse the left pane as well. And
People in back, Naomi.
Nice.
Are you're looking at this? Okay.
Yeah, so this is the login, right? And when a user logs in, we get their username and password. Now, if we're missing a username or password, we just ignore it. The way this was set up though, they commented out the thing that authenticates the user and password and checks if they're an admin. Instead, it just said, oh, they successfully logged in if the user exists.
Who makes an admin?
And they are an admin.
Nice.
So that was funny. And we deleted this. We deleted these two lines and uncommented that one.
Authenticate also needed some pretty substantial patching because in the LDAP driver, if you go into utils voxel,
Yeah.
there's an LDAP dot.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah, so if we go to authenticate, these aren't what it does.
Yep.
Is it will look up, it'll get LDAP connection, it checks for group membership of admin group. But if we go to creating the user, if you go up to create LDAP user,
Create
I
LDAP.
think is what it's called. There it is, create LDAP user. You'll see that it first establishes an LDAP connection, which is just creating an authenticated chain with the Active Directory controller, and then it creates a user. But you can see at the very bottom there, we're adding that user to a group. What group does it look like it's adding that user to?
Oh, I didn't
Well
see
done.
Ah,
Well, riddle me this, Batman. That doesn't look like a good idea. So I removed that and I changed it to adding them to the citizens group where they belong.
Good.
And at the beginning, there were some, wasn't domain users in the domain administrators group or something originally.
Yeah,
But
someone
that was
was
just
in that,
scrubbing, right?
but I fixed all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we kind of reworked the LDAP code here just to like change what groups they're in by default and all that.
I tried adding them to an organizational unit, but that did not work the way that it should have worked. And I was very sad.
Where's their? Oh, there's
But-
okay.
I just can't, yeah.
Yeah, because they had all this stuff and it would say like,
Transit admins.
where's transit admin?
Right there in admin group.
Oh, yeah.
That's a problem. So I fixed that. That wasn't a problem. I also created a designated user so then if they somehow find out a way to extract credentials from here, they don't have administrator credentials since it's stored in plain text. We did sandbox the user. We made a username space using systemd.
So they weren't the administrator when they were,
Yeah.
yeah, this wasn't the actual administrator when it was messing with the users, it was just the back end.
So let's slow down. You said transit admins, admin group, that's a bad idea. What kind of admin group is that?
So that's the transit admin group. They have the ability to log in to the administrative transit console. And if we fix the management backend, that's the group they're looking for to query all the routes, the vehicle routes, and the ability to turn them off.
Mm-hmm.
Which would mean that any user that they create on our system would have the ability to just dump the flag, even if we have authentication.
Cause
Just
it sounds right. It sounds like transit admins should be that group.
Yeah.
For
For admin on the,
Or if you're an admin on the server.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
if you're an admin, that's what you should be.
okay.
But when you're logging in to just buy a ticket,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to have administrative privilege in any capacity, because all you're doing is you're saying, hey, I want to buy a ticket, and you buy a ticket, and we take it from there.
Oh, this would assign them to that.
This would assign them to that
Okay.
group.
Oh, this one?
This
I
would,
thought it was the code in the LDAP.
this is the group that it's reading from though in the code.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So I changed that to adding them to a different security group. They were added to the citizens security group.
Yeah, you're
which
talking
I've
about,
changed.
Yeah, you're talking about over
Yeah,
here
back
that you
up.
changed that.
I changed that. I changed the config pretty substantially, but that's just code that we don't, that's not really applicable to
So
us.
go back, where we were. So I want to slow down a couple things, where the transit admins reference was.
Go back to config.
Yeah. So right above that, what was my question?
With the database question?
No, not the database. We're not talking about database really. Shoot, there was something else. Database, Flask.
The secret key? Cause that was also a thing we fixed
Yeah, we
on all the
changed
Flask platforms.
No, there was just something else you said that we kind of bounced off really fast, and I thought it might be good to explain it, but.
I said we changed the user that was an administrator as the backend. So it wasn't logging into administrator, it was logging into backend, which had administrative privileges.
To
Yeah,
create users.
I don't remember what it was. So,
No, you're good.
continue.
Other questions from the news?
Oh, and one thing about the database is that this weird URL-ish looking thing, the database URI, this is the original one, right?
Yeah, that's the original.
So the way you read these for, this is probably a JDBC driver or something,
Yeah.
is that part in the middle that says CDC:CDC, that's the user and password that they started with.
Oh, yeah.
that's interesting.
And so the MySQL plus PyMySQL is, I know what that is, but I don't program this way. But that's the MySQL target for the PyMySQL provider, I think.
Yeah, for squeal.
So that's how the, that's just telling how the program, what technology, what libraries the program's gonna use to connect to MySQL. But then after the whack, CDC:CDC is the username and password. And then localhost: 3306 is the computer and port. And /transit is the database name. So I want to mention that because you'll see this in a lot of configs, something that looks like a URL, but it's actually a database definition and a little bit of config. And because of things like this config file has to be really locked down permission-wise. They might have put this down as 777 in a competition.
They did.
And you gotta catch that. So, you know,
and it also had all the flags in it, so.
yeah, and what's better, and just to let you know, like, does GoDaddy do that? Sometimes. But more often we'll do things like store the passwords in some kind, we use different ones depending on the situation, but some kind of quote unquote vault. Sometimes it's not quote unquote, sometimes it's vault. But we'll store it in some kind of secrets vault that will have something worked out that only this app can use this. And then we'll pass those credentials into a process using environment variables, because that's a cringy, secure way to do it. If something's inside the process, they can read the environment variables, but if they're inside the process, you have bigger problems, right? So that's why it's secure, but it still makes me cringe. So if you use a config, we tell our customers use config files, because if they know better, they'll do it better. But we that's the thing we tell them, put this in that file and blah, 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 because it's just the easiest thing to tell them what to do. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, if you ever see a .n file, .env in a directory, that's got your end bars and stuff. Yeah, any other questions from the news?
That's what Cloud likes. Okay.
Spelled with a double O.
You stole my questions.
Oh, all of them? Every nuance?
Well, it's like the bingo.
Okay, that's good.
Must have been a good question.
Oh, I also changed the URI to use local Unix socket, so doing it over. I did a lot of things with the database.
This is a local host of.
We also changed the passwords.
Yeah, I turned off networking and I had it only be accessed via socket.
That's cool. I know,
Unix is cool like that.
SQL Server, if you say dot instead of localhost, you get shared memory. Yeah.
That's fancy.
That's creepy.
I have a follow-up question kind of
Yeah.
related to what we were talking about. So I think, was it account setup that was potentially going to be created as an administrator?
They
Yes.
were created as that.
Okay.
Yes.
So
when you,
once you get that
when you create-
user, since it's tied to Active Directory, would there be another way to use that user? I mean, do you use that user outside of the ticketing
That's a
system?
very good question.
Yeah.
So they're added, see, it's config.admin group. And that is added, that is the transit admins. And Isaac, didn't you say that transit admins could do whatever?
No.
No?
No, but in the create LDAP user, was it called? They were getting added to the main app? No.
No.
They were
They're getting added to the Active Directory admins group, right?
No, they were getting
only
added to
getting
the
added to the transit admin security group.
Oh, okay.
So the way our user topology was, we had the IT administrators security group. Oh.
Yeah, why don't you show everybody else?
We had, if I had GIMP, this would be easier to kind of explain. But we had, as our overarching security group, was the IT administrators security group. This was Roger Cox, this is Melissa, whatever her last name was, and then the domain admin or administrator. They were allowed to do almost anything they wanted. They had pseudo privilege on the Linux boxes to secure shell in, and they were allowed to RDP into all the Windows machines. That was their privilege. Transit admins were kind of the next stage down, air quotes. They needed to have the ability to do administrative things through the admin portal on tickets, or the Windows VM that was running the ticket server, which was disgusting, but it was what it was. Was it admin? I don't remember. One of the servers, they were allowed to pull a flag, and that was through the transit flag. All things considered, given the way that I had user isolation set up, even if I didn't catch this, the damage wouldn't have been very massive because RDP was locked down and access was locked down. So all things considered, it wouldn't have been game over. We wouldn't have lost any more flags. I mean, kind of just quick napkin math for that. I don't actually know for sure because I'm very rusty when it comes to web application hacking. I'm more into reverse engineering, but that's neither here nor there. Does that answer your question?
So if you create a user and they have what, transit admin, that was
Yeah.
what was the
That was
The issue?
Yeah, the abuse.
what can a transit admin do? Just use the admin console?
Yeah.
Okay. And which ultimately could lead to one of the flags?
Yeah.
Okay.
It would have given them a flag because they would have been able to shut down all the buses.
Okay.
Which is what admin and allow you to add a route. So they would have gotten more flags.
So they couldn't have like RDP'd in or anything like that. That was the higher level.
Yeah.
But yeah, the goal was the flags. So okay.
Yeah.
But basically, you had to change all of the authentication because they had the group set up wrong. They didn't require any authentication. Everybody got admin by default, and then there was still this escalation path.
Yeah. It was a mess. It was what we in the technical term for that is we call it a dumpster fire. That's the technical term we use. Our whole Active Directory auth stack was a dumpster fire. So
I'm curious. I missed, some due to my responsibilities, but
now you're good.
maybe if this didn't happen, it would be a good thing for the high school scenario. I realized that we were time crunched, but getting an overview of like once we digest the scenario together, kind of talking through what is it that the system does, and going through some of these examples when we find those vulnerabilities, digest them on a Saturday. And maybe that was kind of the goal, and obviously we missed it because of the short time window.
Yeah, I
But
think that would be good. Like, here's all the problems we found and fixed.
yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. No, I totally
We
agree.
missed one.
okay,
It would have been great as a teaching opportunity for the new guys here to be a lot for me and Ox to actually walk through what we did.
yeah,
The problem, I mean,
I don't.
we not only were we crunched on time, but I'm very new when it comes to Active Directory myself. So I'm learning right alongside you guys
Yeah,
most of the time. I mean, not that that's without benefit, but I'm not really going to be in a position to help explain that because I barely understand it. I just know
learn it together
Yeah.
almost. Yeah,
I understand that. Iowa made me teach statistics after I took one statistics class. And it was an MBA statistics class, so, and, yeah, I was studying things, the week before I taught them. And people would ask questions about, I remember one person asked a question about, is this similar to X? And X was like 4 chapters in the future. And I was like, well, we're gonna talk about that later, so let's wait till we get there and then ask again if you still have the question. I don't know. But I told them, it says you have this advantage that I'm learning it with you. But I had time and, I could prep. I had that extra buffer in between. It was still hard. So, yeah, that's really hard to do, to learn and
learn
pull
and
somebody
then
with you.
immediately teach
Yeah.
it while putting out fire after fire. It's
so.
Chris, I just noticed I was unmuted and saw me up there. I just want to make sure the transcription is still like working for me. Too far. I just muted myself.
I can't remember where to.
There's no echo sound that reminds me when everybody's speakers are on.
Oops, yeah.
I think I saw it. Good.
All right. So is that all the questions the noobs with a 00 have?
You're not a new. Sorry.
nobody uses Arch, by the way.
Axel? You weren't there, man. You have any questions about? Okay, just thought I'd ask, you might. So,
Doesn't have to be related to a specific thing at the competition, just even about the competition, but if you don't have a question,
How were the pancakes?
delicious.
Okay, awesome.
But I missed out on them, so I can't say.
Uh-oh.
yeah, I talked to Doug for a while. He understood, and I told him, I'm introverted and autistic. I said, it's really nice in here with the two of you and pancakes. There's a whole bunch of people in there. That's why we got a little coach's corner, He's up to about 22,000 pancakes, we figure. And their 100th CDC will be like the either, second, third, or fourth one next year. He doesn't quite have it, in his mind, but it's coming up. So,
Oh yeah, while I was archiving, we apparently during this competition we crossed team number 1,000. So
oh yeah,
cool.
this was the biggest of any of their, 96 or 97 CDCs, because they usually have team 40 as the non-competing team, which I think they use to, I don't really know, but I think they use it if somebody has a question or something and they need a place to test it out. That's their punching dummy. And
Nice.
tackling dummy, punching bag. It's kind of two things at once, isn't it? But this year they had to like add something beyond that or move the dummy down or something because they had 42. Yeah. And they still had what, 30 some actually showed up. There's always some that don't come, but 36 showed up. That's wow. So, and so the fact that this is going to be one of the competitions I'm proudest of, even though we didn't, get a medal in 2 weeks, we were like 300, we were very close to that 5th place spot. We were 6th. And this is pretty remarkable, guys. You did really well. When I put the little notes in my spreadsheet, this will be a good one. And I do apologize we didn't get you the scenario sooner. I really feel bad about that because I think you could have won. As Isaac graciously pointed out when I said we beat these guys at the high school competition last year, as he said, soundly. But this is a team that they've got some of their core people back, so they've been together for a little bit. I looked at at my notes, this team named Fishermen. This is their 3rd year with that name. So I don't know if that means they've got a lot of the same people for 3 years or not. I mean, we've had team 5 with very different personnel now, but I didn't see the one guy that their coach, Mike, I learned his name, talked about last year being really smart, but they weren't all in the same place because I saw 2 of them right by coach's corner. But yeah, when I asked, one of them spoke up in one of the channels and I asked, hey, I meant to congratulate your coach. And I got down the first row, talked to somebody, looked up and he was gone. So I wanted a way to contact him. And I was like, were there only 2 of you? He's like, no, well, 2 of us were watching the network and 2 were doing this, and they're all involved, all doing something. It wasn't like that one team I told you about where the girl set up the firewall and then polished her nails or whatever. Yeah, they were all doing something. Really, like maybe 6 of them at least. Yeah.
Yeah, several of the teams were really.
Yeah. We
I
had
think there's
5.
any stuff we talked about in the car on the way home, like some of the other things the red team was trying to do. Like what they explained, the dictionary attacks they're using, their weak passwords and some of those.
Yeah.
Might be anything else from how else is the red team trying to break into the system in general?
Yeah, those dictionary attacks. Basically, all of the hang on a sec. Let me pull I'm not sharing, am I? I know I'm on the screen, but let me share also. When I get a lot of icons on my taskbar, they go small, and it's not easy to see what's going on down there. Is this still running? It is.
I know, it's pretty peak, huh?
This is my archive of the iScore site. So team specific info. So these passwords, this is one of those things where you make the site bigger and the other pieces get smaller or whatever. These are not resizing, so this is it. But these passwords, letter, digit, letter. The bald guy said that's not what he said, but whatever he said, they know the format. They're all the same format.
I think that's the hash key.
Letter, digit. Yeah, so they know this password format, and most years lately they've had some rig with enough GPUs on it that they can really crank through a password file, a shadow file very quickly. I mean, really quickly. And so these passwords, if they see a shadow file, these passwords are insecure. They're going to get them. And so I don't know exactly how they do this, but these passwords are frequently just gotten. Or I can't remember how they, but I forget, because our admins are on here too, right?
Yeah.
So they don't always get those. How does this work?
What with cracking the passwords?
No, I mean, they do hash cracking when they get hashes with
It
their,
sends the hash across. Once they start to, if they know any of them or they can get any of them, then they get a pattern attack on the hash.
Yeah, they'll
yeah,
take,
why wouldn't it work against the admins?
why wouldn't it work against the admins?
That's what I'm trying to,
Oh, because our admin password is
that.
like 32 characters long and not in the Rocky password data leak. With the
But-
domain admin.
oh, because they're grabbing it. Yeah,
With the
okay.
with any TSI users,
Right.
they'll use a
But-
hash cat.
But the
and try to
admin,
crack
so the
XML.
admin users are not in this list.
Our admin users that we use.
Right, right.
These admin users are a different can of worms.
Okay.
But our domain
Gotcha.
administrator, that's not
The
the
ones-
case.
Because we get to set the password on all of our admin users. That's
Mhm.
the difference. Okay. So these guys, they can capture these. They will reverse these really quickly because they've got GPUs and they know the format. So they can tweak they can just tell their cracker to only run through ones that have this format. And they're all lowercase just to make it more fun.
Well, even if they were upper.
This one's different.
It is.
Ha ha. I've never seen that before. So anyway, so they'll do that every time. They didn't mention Eternal Blue this time, did they? Even though there's,
I think.
even though they had
No
Windows,
zero logon. That's
Yeah.
Zero logon.
they usually try, the bald guy was so happy last time that he got Eternal Blue to work because he said he'd never gotten it to work before. Other people have.
Yeah,
They had a Windows 2016 server, which unpatched, I think would be vulnerable.
it is.
But they didn't mention that, but they will try that. I think once Windows Server 2016 goes out of support, it's only on extended security support now, but it is supported. And once it's not supported, I don't think it will be ethical for them to continue to use it.
At least not as a domain controller.
I don't think it'd be right. I will complain if they give us unsupported software. What are you gonna say, patch it? You're like, how? You know, it's like,
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
That's more effort than what.
yeah,
it's
you want me
worth.
to write the patches?
I have a question about the dictionary attacks. Is there a way to, so they're obviously trying to beat away at username and password by guessing it through these type of means.
Uh-huh.
Is there any way to like set up throttling? So after so many attempts, you block them for
Yeah.
a set amount of
What's the
time?
penalty or?
Yeah, we usually use fail to ban, which is, what do we do? Three strikes and you're out for a while.
15 minutes. is
Yeah.
my general rule.
And interestingly, a lot of us think that something like fail to ban would be a lot more effective than complex passwords, right? You got somebody trying to brute force your account. If at your company, 3 strikes and they have to wait 15 minutes, but at GoDaddy, they can just keep whizzing through passwords forever. They're going to come to us. They'll leave you alone, right? Go for the low hanging fruit. But yeah, so places, teams that use fail to ban are not generally, they're not generally vulnerable to dictionary attacks from outside, like through SSH or something like that. If you don't do that, well, first off, you're young, right? You haven't done this very much, or you don't know what fail to ban is, or you didn't have time. And yeah, they'll try that, but the hash cracks are going to be faster. But for that, yeah, admin passwords, I mean, any team worth its salt is going to have really long ones, and those they won't have time to, if they're using usually something like John the Ripper or whatever it's called,
Ripper, Hashcat.
and they just don't. It's a long time on a lot of nodes to get through a long and a lot of luck. I don't know. It would have taken, we could pop it into an analyzer, but to get one of the passwords we used on a password cracker, I think it would have taken a long time.
It would have been for most of our passwords, and I'm not going to say all, but for most of our passwords, given the hashing algorithm that is, if it was for NTLM, I mean, you can crunch. I mean, on my GPU, I can crunch NTLM hashes. Those are nothing.
The old NTLM half.
Old NTLM. However,
There's rainbow tables for the old ones.
you got because they don't salt, right?
Because they're all, they normalize the case and they only come in a certain length, and then they chunk them into a certain length. And so it's not very many of them.
There's not. And then
There's literally
salting doesn't matter because how they're chunking it, huh?
Yeah, there's literally rainbow tables where you can, at least there used to be, where you could just send a number to a port and it would, or send a hash to a port and it would send you back to plain text.
Well,
So, yeah. Anyway,
thankfully that wasn't a problem.
NTLM v2 is a totally different deal.
Yeah. For us, though, I mean, 9 times out of 10, before they even try to crack the password, they're not even going to waste their time. What they're going to do is they're going to perform what's called pass a hash attack, where they'll take the hash and they'll just hand it to our server and be like, hey, is this good enough? And if you don't set up SMB signing, the servers be like, okay, and just let you walk right in. So most of the time, they don't even need to crack the password. They can just take the hash and just be like, here, let me in.
Oh,
And it
sure.
works.
Yeah.
Because you can do the same thing with Kerberos, but it's a lot harder to pass it there. But that's a whole other discussion. Thankfully, we didn't have that issue because I turned off NTLM v2. Well, it's NTLM v1. So we have.
So yeah, I think that's an important takeaway to share. I don't know if everybody's following, but
That's-
turning these, well, what do you decide to turn on and off, and the vulnerabilities for each,
Yeah, and it's fair to ask when you're learning. I think AI is fine for learning. It's fair to ask a good AI that doesn't hallucinate a lot, or to ask 2 AIs and look for the intersection of what they're saying. I'm part of a CDC team. I haven't done this very much. We're looking at our scenario. What should I look for? Give me a checklist. And even to say, here's our scenario. What stands out to you or something? And, don't make it do things for you. But, because like Copilot doesn't have has a study and learn mode, right? It'll give you quizzes, guided learning. So look for something that will help you learn and engage you. When I use AI, I'm usually taking it from something I don't know, or I know a little, or I've forgotten, and then I'm getting it to tell me more, so that the thing that I have forgotten or whatever will kind of come more, not be on the fringe of what I know anymore, kind of get some padding around it. But Chad, you have to leave in about 15 minutes. Okay. Do you have any comments or questions? And Kaizek, you also? So do you have, because you have, maybe we should get to you first because you had homework. Yeah.
I just think we should documentation someday.
Oh, is that what happened? We put the documentation together.
We only got 50 points on.
Yeah, I said, let's see here. Where's the scores? Dashboard team. Here we go. So yeah, the white team docs got 50. Oh, really? I'll fix this. But it might still be on the, is the real life score still up?
it was last night.
Okay. Oh, this reminds me, I want to say I got to type all that again because I can't show it to you guys. Yeah, I wanted to look at the notes. I couldn't get to that, so I'm gonna come in here. All right, so dashboard, white team docs. Here we go. Why didn't I get this? Okay, that's for me to worry about. Sorry. So what did they details 25, but we don't know out of how much. Please, no page breaks. They don't want hard page breaks. I like hard page breaks before headers. I forgive you. More detail. This document was submitted late, so there's a 25% penalty. So 25%, I wonder if they just mean 25 points. Because that would have made it 80. 25%, I don't think they're gonna say, okay, it's 90, so we're gonna take or it's. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it means.
So
Which would be really harsh if you got like 35 and they docked you 25 instead of 25%.
that's Isaac.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Few
they didn't
follow-up
answer
questions.
me.
Why no page breaks? Ask for more detail, but didn't say what kind. Yeah,
Like what are you looking for there?
yeah, they
Which was
didn't
very
tell you
sad.
much. It should include
I did, yeah.
and white team. So they have some things here. It should include details of your network. Is this always here? This bit?
Yes.
Okay, so we got, it's a detail 0 to 40, professionalism 0 to 30. Interesting. So effectiveness they liked, but yeah, that's interesting. So we do have older white team docs we could get out, not today, but try to see, we could have a little midweek subcommittee looking at old ones and see if you can figure out if there's any rhyme or reason. Yeah.
One other thing we got docked points on for docs, our font. Our font choice. If you open the PDF on the right there,
Oops, sorry. I thought it was maybe the other docs.
it's on all the docs, but they only dock points on some of them. If you look at that, you'll see that the font is little nice looking, a little small looking, and that's just how this font looks.
This font.
Yep. And so on some of our docs, we got docked points for that.
So it would have been the other doc in this case.
I think it was also some of our intrusion reports we got docked points.
Oh, they say no page breaks, but there aren't any page breaks. Does that mean they wanted page breaks?
Is this a different docs? Did
Now you see why I was asking them questions.
I know page breaks. Please no page breaks. There are no page breaks. So let's look at
there were page breaks at the start for the title page and the networking page, but
the green team, they liked a lot. So
yeah, this had page breaks. This probably had more page breaks, honestly.
yeah, so it doesn't make a lot of sense, but even if we got,
It's probably
suppose we would have gotten, full points on docs, that would have brought it, the weights are 100 on 55 thing, but the weight is 5%. So what's that mean? 5% of 1,000. So 10% of 1,000, this would have been 50 and 50. So we would have got another 223, would have got another 25 points, would have brought us up to 850, 862, which would have got us to 5th, right? So
Yeah, and then the intrusion report, I think.
yeah, we didn't get
Something
points
that
on
got
those,
docked.
right? Maybe that's where the font, but they wouldn't, that seems weird that they would care about something like that on the intrusion reports. Did this one get submitted? Comment, we love your access attempts chart. Sadly, late intrusion reports are 100% deduction in points. So that's why that one. Access attempts chart. Well, I'll look. No, let's look now. The new students need to see something they loved, right? So, that is nice. And this is nice.
That was one of our better ideas.
Scrat lives.
Whose idea was this? I forget whose idea was.
What is the deal with Taco?
Was it Oxel? Was it Oxel?
This was your idea, actually.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't. I don't.
Whatsoever, deleted that one. Doing that was temporary.
So there's that one. Too bad it was late, right? That's all. And this one was
Oh, yeah.
well, this one got most of the points. I have one team that got back a phenomenal number of clawback points, but I don't know if I have their docs. Because it was before I started scraping. It was when I was just collecting point summaries. Maybe they do, although why would they? It's a long time ago. But so that's a nice idea, this access attempts thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking, well, we'll get to the document of potential improvements and we'll get to that part in a bit.
Yeah. Timestamps would help. Like if you had this and the log of when these happened, have them both.
Yeah. Well, I was
So it's
thinking
nice and graphical.
if we can do something with like Jinja or something. I know that there's some penetration testing, a tool called Ghostwriter that lets you develop a document thing and being able to like even just upload like the auth logs, for example, from Elastic, because I know that Elastic has some form of formatting there just to make it more streamlined because we were crunching for time on our first submission.
I have a question about Elastic, and it has to do with the fact that Isaac won't be at the competition in April. I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Do you think that suppose we get the scenario right away, okay? I'm in that main channel. I will invite you guys to the main channel because some of one's high school students are there, so I'm gonna invite you guys. So suppose we get the scenario on time, and just for argument's sake, let's say we get it a month ahead of time. There's no guarantee here on that one. But in that case, do you think, well, and this is kind of for everybody, was Elastic helpful, and is it worth the time you put into it in terms of picking up some of the slack, especially on game day, being familiar with what Isaac did and having to maybe fill in somewhat for him on game day? And because I don't know how much you did or didn't. So I didn't think about how to say this, but should we go with full Elastic build out for the high school competition? Is there something thinner we could set up or the Franken logger that you used to set up that did a great job, but you said it was difficult to set up, right? But it was more lightweight.
Well,
But yeah, so what's everybody think? That's what I'm wondering, because I know it took you off of prep for what, a week?
I don't think it should have taken me that long. So.
Okay, but how long? You've done it several times, I think, at home or whatever, because you were confident you could do it. That's all I know. What slowed you down? Was it do you need to give it like a terabyte of memory to install it and then trim it back?
It was kind of hard. Install an agency to see that.
Well, you know how to do it faster now with
Yeah.
Active Directory. You just put it in a sysvol and then forget about it.
Oh, you mean on the login sheet?
So what I did.
This fall.
So
You can put things on this fall?
you most certainly can. So I was trying to see like, oh, what is Elasticsearch at? One machine connected. Uh-oh, that's not good. So I went and I'm just like, okay, how do I got to install the agent on all the Windows machines. How am I going to ship the installer to all the machines with the proxy? And I had an idea. I'm like, it's like that meme for monsters and aliens. I may not have a brain, but I have an idea. So I downloaded it on admin and I put it in the sysvol directly for the entire domain. And then I just went on each of the machines and downloaded it from the sysvol.
This is our group policy guy.
Yeah, but I tried to uninstall all of them and like rebuild it.
Hey, That's why I referenced the meme. I
Yeah.
may not have a brain, gentlemen,
But it worked.
but I have an idea.
Just have to get the installer out to them, right? Anyway, so you think you can do it quicker?
Yeah.
And does the team think was it helpful, guys? Did it help you make the intrusion reports? And is that where this information came from?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
So that's good, right?
I mean,
I feel like it was kind of hard to access the logs though.
I have mixed opinions on Elastic. I mean, the way I kind of look at it, it's like bringing a bulldozer to knock over a sandcastle. You know, what
I
mean?
hate sandcast. No.
Well, I also,
Okay,
built
gonna
out
say
this,
something.
agent that can go to Elastic and also SSH in the boxes to, help get logged easier, so you don't have to actually log into the box and then flip UI. So,
Are you
So-
sure it's accurate in collecting those logs?
well, yeah,
Like it is copying them word for word perfect.
yeah, it gets it from an HTTP.
But like it's copying and pasting, it's not reading and then writing it out.
Yeah, it's copying and pasting, and then it sends it to the agent, and then it puts it out and tells you the logs directly. But then it can also do something with the logs.
Because I think Isaac has a question for the competition, you know, is it breaking the rules or is it appropriate to use an agent like that?
Oh, that's fine.
Well, it's an AI agent, so you can tell it to do.
Oh,
It can collect logs, but you can also tell it to fix things. You can tell it to do things.
oh. But you can have it make that recommendation to you,
Yeah.
right?
I just don't know where I get.
Yeah, it gets hard. It's getting harder and harder.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because pushing the button and saying make it so might be is gray area. And yet when we have accounts in Active Directory and we're told to take their entitlements away and we push the button and Active Directory makes it so because that's deterministic, it's okay, right? It's
something to think about.
yeah.
It's pretty cool. He can give a demonstration of the workflow he's put together in event. And it's a really powerful tool, but
Is the AI piece a module that you could either install or not install?
Well, you just have one box and an inbox, and it sends command via SSH and a book.
So is it optional though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can ask this in the channel without risking them saying you can't use Elastic.
Yeah.
You want me to do that?
worth understanding like where some of these lines are, because I don't know if it's clear to me.
I'll ask in the small channel
Yeah.
because if we can use it, I don't want everybody using it. See, there are some tactics to being a coach here. So,
Start small. Yeah. It's just interesting the world we're going into because
Mhm.
that is the future. Is having these AI agents and systems be able to run automated actions and take context into account and do more with that information, right?
yeah. Yeah, I'm still getting just intoxicated with pair programming with Claude Code. I went to it and I said, I've been scraping these sites for a couple of years now, and it's hard every year because there's JavaScript hidden and there's this and that, and I'm trying to host these in subdirectories, and so I have to adjust the base dir, and there's stuff in JavaScript that I have to adjust and I can't find it, and it's like, oh, let's work on a script. Yes. And that's why I'm like, oh, why didn't we get this? You know what I'm going to do? Just going to go back to Claude and say, you missed this. And
Oh, you're playing with Chesmoy?
Hmm?
Chesmoy?
Chesmoy? Oh, Chemois? Yeah. Where'd you see that?
Where you're hovering over the terminal up top.
Oh, yeah. That's my, I get a new Weasel and I run Chemois and all my stuff's set up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, something to think about. Kaiser can give a demonstration of
Yeah.
that Dan at some
Cool.
point if you guys want.
All right. Sounds good.
I apologize, we gotta run.
That's all right. The other guy already left.
Yeah, this is the last archery.
That's
All right.
understandable.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Don't shoot your dad.
Yeah. I'm not cheating.
If you, oh, no,
No,
Don't install AU
Don't-
or packages.
don't get shot.
I.
Seriously, don't do that.
Okay. See ya. See ya.
see it. Yeah. This? Yeah, I was thinking ahead, actually thinking about maybe teaching PowerShell. And I've been looking for you. I have some PowerShell training I found for you. Good. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, so, right. Well, you can go to Notepad++ this way, right?
But.
And then you can, whoops, then you can open it from in here, right? Oh, uh-huh, cool. Mhm. But I don't know if you'll have time. Did you join? I sent you an invite for Zulip. Okay, I'll send you another one right now. Because if you get in there, I'll send you, I think I found some training that's free for PowerShell because you were interested in that last week, 2 weeks ago. Now I need to find where the invites are.
His substrings. So you know how I had like that long, complicated like date.
Yeah.
I formatted to be day, month, year,
Uh-huh.
and then I put it into dashes.
Nice.
And then also for the username, mine is AXEL with no capital A. So I told you from now on, no matter what's there, I want you to first take that and
Mhm.
put it to uppercase.
Cool. So tell me your email again.
Electric.
Bugaboo. Oh, sorry.
Dash.
Oh, sorry.
999 gmail.com.
All right. So it'll expire in 10 days. Okay, so.
Yes.
Oh, wow, that was fast.
Vibe coding.
All right. So we didn't get to you, but we are still recording. What did did you have something you wanted to add to our conversation? And we still got two
Yeah,
new
so
students here.
I have a couple
And
of
Dan.
improvements
John,
that we could do. So yeah, I have
Yeah.
this.
do you want to
thing-
share?
Yeah, where's the share button? They hide it in the, oh, because I need this document. I have this up. Sorry. Here we go.
You're talking like me, man.
Maybe I'm you from the future or the past.
The past.
Past. Okay. So I got this document here. Basically stuff that we could improve. So they did not like those page breaks for whatever reason. They did not like our font, even though it is a very nice font, I will say. We did a good on our dot consistency. That was a pretty good improvement, especially since we copied those templates. Prep, we could have more time. We could have put in more hours, honestly. Not that we should, but we could. We could have audited the code more. Like that's the way we got hacked.
Artisanal.
Chris.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask, I was trying to find something to do for Windows PowerShell, I couldn't find anything, so is there like anything that's like, something to do for the coding or something?
Yeah, there is. I've got a tutorial site that I can show you, but let's let Axel finish.
Making
What
a
do you
game
think?
is always fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then also maybe just running our code through an AI, just see if it catches anything we didn't.
Mhm.
Not that it would, but it could. Then Isaac had a big idea.
I have a lot of big ideas.
No, this was his bigger idea, I'd say. Basically a little script using apparently Ansible or Puppet can do this. where we just have these things we can check and potentially automate stuff. So, you know, change all default passwords,
That was your friend.
No, it's not.
make LDAP do a lot of the work for us.
But in all seriousness, though.
Because we really liked logging into administrator on the Linux boxes rather than CDC.
That was my favorite thing to do with my day.
We have all these common like users or phrases we will find. So like 1337 backdoor. There's usually a taco user
Do you guys know why 1337's on the list?
because it's elite.
You guys, Leet speak. It's a hacker thing. It's the hello world phrase of Leet speak. It says it's LEET. Anyway,
You know, at the search, you can find the UN Universal Declaration on Human Rights in leet speak.
that's
Those are conserving.
oh,
Yeah, so 1337, backdoor, taco scrat.
we can add NSA to that this year.
NSA
Ooh,
backdoor.
yeah, NSA.
NSA backdoor was it? There's also
They got one NSA backdoor.
yeah.
Uh,
And what was that? They used to always embed this C90. That's not right. C99 shell.
Seashell?
No, it was a remote control PHP file.
Oh yeah, that. I don't remember that.
Not this year.
No.
One thing I like to do, and I haven't finished a script for this, is to run the file command on things, which shows you the type of file a file is. It doesn't rely on the file extension. So Axel and Naomi, if you have a file that says .jpeg, but it's really a PDF, it will tell you that's a PDF. And you can run that in a script and look for mismatches because the red team will find them. If you're in a website and there's a list of images in a file, but one of them is actually a executable file, they will find it. And so it's good to, I started a script on that. I need to finish it. But anyway,
there's cron. We didn't have any this year, which was surprising, but they usually put some cron jobs in.
I thought you
There
had
was
maybe a
system
sketch.
There
service.
was.
There's a system.
That,
Oh, yeah.
That's different though.
Platypus. Was
That
that a
was an
service?
LD
That was
preload.
a LDAP. Yeah.
Ooh, I should add that to
LD,
here.
sorry.
Yeah, so cron jobs, they're these things that run periodically or on boot up.
Was there a scheduled task in Windows? I'm still thinking about LDAP crashing all the time.
None that I was able to find.
So you never found out why.
Still confused.
But yeah, basically they have these scheduled things. One that they had that was kind of funny one year was it would reset the password for CDC, I think, every like hour. So you couldn't, they would just be able to log in. You couldn't.
Something running like that because they said, well, no, I guess they team broke their own server and then nobody could get it.
Yeah. I remember that.
System D, we had one of those this year. Basically,
Explain System D for our new guys.
System D is a very controversial init system created.
Explain init system. This is I'm not insulting them, but it's tell me like I'm 5, right? You have to say it in English. Init, otherwise init system, what's that? Init is the thing that starts the operating system, right? You have to be like that.
Well,
with it.
so if you have your operating system, right? But you need some way to run code that runs in the background. We need some way to run code in the background and be able to make sure it doesn't blow up and that we can manage it from what's called the foreground or like your actual interface on the front, what you see, right? We need to be able to run things in the background. And an init system handles that. It handles starting up all of those pieces of code that run in the background. Windows is weird. We won't talk about this, but for Linux, it's just a chunk of code that lets you run code in the background so that it doesn't bother you. That's a very high level overview. It gets very nuanced when you dig into it. But that's an init system.
Yeah, so System Z on startup will usually on startup, but it can be scheduled at load out service,
What's wrong?
and that service
You were supposed
is
to
allowed
bring
to do
water
things on your system
for us.
It's this
Not
one.
throw it into
So-
darkness.
It's PID
that
0.
service could be, say, your backend code,
I
your
never
website,
Why is it PID 4?
or
So
a
there's a
backdoor
reason
into
for
your
that.
system.
When your Windows uses a microkernel architecture, so the kernel itself has
So
a
I'm
ton of
trying to
different
find
functions. Hmm?
where our one bug for that was.
Exactly. Yeah, it has its own ring of execution
Um,
with ARM, but that's because
Where is-
before you have 4 rings of execution that you can emulate. You can run software or on the hardware level, and the microkernel architecture results in really weird PID configurations. Whereas with Nix, you have monolithic.
Isaac, do you know where the backdoor service for System D is on Jira? I can't find it.
Really? I'm kind of curious. Can you run a system D status for me? Can you run oh, because you're showing it out there. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just curious. That's not normal. What it's really
I don't know
the
where-
fact that that's its own init binary.
But
System
yeah,
is like-
basically
System
A-
slash
we had a thing that would run on startup.
live
that-
system D.
Wait, I think I remember what.
Itself, it symlinks that.
Typically, I do not. Okay, so basically, it would run on startup and open up 4 different ports that a user could just go into without logging on. That's called a reverse shell. And in there, they could just run commands on your system as root. They had full permissions. I think Naomi, we were on a call when I found that, and I just laughed hysterically.
Yeah, I was a little confused.
Yeah.
Huh? You're welcome.
Yeah, so that was,
So how much of that can be, stopped with reports?
you can find them through port monitoring, and that's of course what the red team will do. But you can't stop them that way. You have to go into the system and find where that's, being set up and running.
If you can't go into the system, sure.
I don't think so. I think firewall can do that, but yeah, it's not the most convenient thing.
Okay.
Then you got what else? GPOs, right. Sometimes they'll set up group policy on Windows. And Isaac would know more about this,
What I would?
but
Oh, group
they
policy.
sometimes set up extra group policy on Windows that'll leave it vulnerable. I think you found some of
So-
those.
Real quick, I just want to refer to one of the memes that I put in the meme channel because it will reflect this very well. The how it feels GIF. If you want to,
I'll search.
Is it
for
in
it's in
Zulip?
Zulip.
how
yeah.
it feels?
It's
In ours?
yeah. It's in our memes in random memes channel.
I don't see it.
I forget how to, okay.
Oh, random.
Random.
I haven't seen that.
Right there. It's in here. You're in the right channel.
What
So-
does not simply configure Active Directory.
How it feels explaining Active Directory first year students is the one.
Is this how it also feels listening to an AI explain Active Directory to you?
Oh, no. It kind of makes sense to me because I can tell it to explain it like you're talking to a Nix ad.
I think he's thrown the gauntlet here, and you need to respond with a retributive meme.
I have quite a few. This is, I found.
What it feels like when,
and I
Isaac
made,
posts memes
I
about
made
us.
the, I made the meme, demonstrating my little shenanigans I did with the sysvol.
Yeah, I like that. Well, you were.
Like system volume information.
Yeah, the system volume information directory,
When we can't use containers.
and then the types of headaches.
I think you had
Yeah,
one
so-
that disabled updates.
Complete-
CPO that
Completely unrelated. I found this site called Image Flip or IMG
Oh,
Flip.
yep.
It offers it. That's how we're going to create memes now. We're going to use this site because we don't use AI anymore because they got really mad when we used AI to make the memes. They got really mad. They were good memes, but they were AI and they weren't having any of that. So I kind of as a
We-
yeah.
We have
Anyway.
14 minutes.
Oh, good. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I got sidetracked. Anyway, GPO.
Never
Um,
happens
In their
You have 2 minutes.
huh?
You have 2 minutes.
because he's got more to do.
Oh,
Good bit more.
buckets. Okay, I'll speed run this. So, Windows configuration, also known as group policy, they add things in there that make Windows behave weird, like disable updates. We kind of need those. Allow anyone to log in as RDP. That's a bad idea. Give people administrative privileges when they shouldn't have them. We don't no boo kind of thing. So unfortunately, you will get a horrible headache looking for those problems. That meme is very, very true. This is incredibly accurate, but it's a necessary thing you got to do, unfortunately. So they'll add things like that, little tweaks that make your life miserable and horrible. And it sucks.
But the international competition is more difficult than the high school competition. Yes,
So, I'm just wondering, I had two questions.
yeah.
One's gonna probably link to the other. So since these are virtual machines,
Mhm.
in case you were to like crash or something.
Yeah.
And like just like freeze and like say there's like an endless loop that's running in the code and accidentally crashes the whole thing.
Yeah.
Would that damage anything?
No.
It shouldn't, no.
Yeah, it shouldn't. In theory, you could like damage the hardware by overusing it, but that's very
don't.
difficult to do even on a physical computer. So
Yeah, so the whole machine is a file sitting on another group of machines.
Oh, this one.
You'd have a
It's just
file, you might have a file that's hard to reboot, a virtual machine that's hard to reboot. But literally, to get rid of your VM, when you say you want to get rid of that computer, files get deleted. That's all that happens. And some data about your computer gets erased. But that's all that happens. So there's so much more capacity on the thing where your virtual machine is than what's required to run your single virtual machine. The odds of you, it's impossible basically for you to like use all that up. It just won't happen.
Don't say impossible, that sounds like a challenge.
I've never ever heard of anything like this happening. I've heard of.
I've become predictable.
Yeah.
Man.
so
So,
yeah.
that's actually the real advantage to using machines and why it's so not being in this club and having access to basically create virtual machines and be able to toy with them. At some point, probably next year, we'll do the create a virtual machine and let's see how badly we can damage it before it's completely stops working.
Let's see
Yeah.
how many
About 2
batteries
years.
can we
We haven't done that since the first year we were together, I think.
Really? Okay.
And what we do is with virtual machines, you can do this with real machines, but it's much more complicated. But you can take a snapshot and then you can go just beat the living daylights out of it until it doesn't work anymore. And then you can say, oops, I want to go back to the snapshot. And it puts it back the way it was and you just keep going.
So
Oh, yeah.
We do that sometimes just to show newer students like yourself that it's okay to take risks on a virtual machine.
RMRF root, do it. It's fun, but not on your machine, a pretend machine.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I'm just gonna.
that
keep
command
going the
would get
rest
rid of
it.
all your files that he just said.
Save.
The snapshot saves everything about your VM, everything.
And we did
And
a
so-
little bit at the competition.
Yeah.
Ooh, I should add that here.
Like, here's a simple one. So you know how like start PowerShell opens PowerShell?
Yeah.
Even though from PowerShell. So if you went in the code and you type in start PowerShell and then and put it in a function, and then right after that you put the name of the function,
Uh-huh.
then PowerShell, once you open it, it runs that function open PowerShell, but
Yeah.
that runs the function open PowerShell.
Man, he's got good instincts, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's called a fork bomb. Because you're forking the code, you're using the code to launch like 2 copies of itself, basically.
What is?
And that's called forking. And so this is called a fork bomb. It's actually an old exploit to basically make a computer not work anymore. And because you take all the resources. Now, it's really hard to do on a modern computer because of the way the architecture is. But if I did one here right now, the most annoying part of it is that I'd wind up with like a zillion windows. Yeah, it's
Cascading.
yeah, and if I hover over the little PowerShell thing at the bottom, because I've tried it, you know. I would, in this case, I would go to a new PowerShell window that was not going to run that, and I would issue a command. And in this case, the command in PowerShell would be get process PWSH or PowerShell, depending which version I was running. And then I would pipe it, which means send the output to another PowerShell command called stop process. So get these processes and pipe them to a command called stop process, and they would all stop.
I think you have to like click add the code and then delete it and save it.
That would get it to stop, yeah.
Once you save it, when the next one opens, it
Yep.
refers to that.
We call that stopping the bleeding. Yeah, you stop the bleeding. That would make it easier, yeah.
So like, how would you open the PowerShell without having it run the code?
There's an option called no profile when you open PowerShell, which
I got
you
it
use-
up on the screen, a fork bomb.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
So this creates a function named my function. My function runs itself twice. And so, yeah, this creates my function and its code inside here. It runs my function.
but my function doesn't have anything.
Well, this is
Well,
what it
no,
has in it.
My function has this code inside. So when we run
It
this,
calls
it runs
itself.
this code inside.
Yeah.
And so my function's output is being put in to another version of my function. And this runs that second one independently. And then this separates this from
That
another
ends the
command.
command,
So yeah, we have this command here. This defines my function. And then we just run it. And when it runs, it makes 2 versions of itself. And each one of those makes 2 versions of itself. And each one of those makes 2 versions of itself. And each one of those makes 2 versions.
I just did like 100 of those.
Oh,
Well,
it's
it wouldn't stop.
it wouldn't stop. It just keeps making more and more of itself forever until it can't. Which would
And
either your system it becomes unable to make more because of the process limit, or it just crashes your computer.
Yep.
So if this were to crash with a hosting device, would that have any effect on it?
like,
It would have an effect on the computer it's running on, but if that computer was a virtual machine, it would just use up a whole bunch of CPU time. It wouldn't damage the first machine. It
Well,
wouldn't crash the
So,
first
like,
machine.
the host would be fine.
Yep.
Like, for-
Nope.
No, it'd just make your tablet kind of warm for running up from running. off
Well,
the
are you
top.
talking about like running something in Proxmox?
Yeah,
This,
so
so
is
if,
running Proxmox, and
if-
then
yeah, so your tablet, if you're running like in Ames, like we talked about, what's gonna happen is that your little contained, it's little compared to Proxmox. Your virtual machine in Ames is gonna run out of resources and it'll freeze up or something. The Proxmox cluster won't care very much because it's using the resources that's been allocated to it, which is a small portion of what Proxmox has. Your laptop, your tablet won't care at all because it's just displaying what's happening like it's a
So
web page.
All it's doing.
Yeah, it's just showing you stuff. It's just like a web page. Yep.
all
So
right.
the actual thing is all the way up there where it's using the resources, very small amount it's allowed to have.
Yep.
And then if that crashes, no one cares, you just revert to a screenshot.
Yes,
Snapshot.
but
Yeah.
yes. Okay,
If you took a snapshot,
I'm just gonna
but
speed run the rest. of this
otherwise you just
document.
restart. In this case, none of this damage is permanent. You just restart it. What's that? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Have
checked.
you tried turning it off and on again?
If I can get through the rest of this
Yeah.
document, I'll run a fork bomb on my actual machine here.
Yeah.
All right, so
Wow, good one.
yeah, we got Eternal Blue. We got to check for that. Apparently there was also zero logon. So yeah. Then set up Elastic. That would be a nice thing to automate here as well. That's what this section is. Rip grep all of our apps.
That means search them for bad things. RipGrep is a fast search utility.
Like we're gonna hand audit them, but also
Yeah.
rip grep because that's nice.
It's insanely bad.
And then check for LD preload because that was a new one this year.
It was.
Then we got anomalies. We seem to have some issues like getting those done. You know, especially with AI. That didn't work on one of them. Our VPN didn't work for us very well. That was kind of sad. And then yeah, this less AI. We need artisanal memes, and this image flip website would be good. We can't just have say AI solve this problem because chances are it will get it wrong, especially if it's like cryptographical or anything. Then we need a first backup of our machines. So just snapshot everything before we touch anything. Yes, Isaac?
I'm stretching.
stretching.
No, that's good.
And yeah, that's what I got here. All right, finished
So-
before 12.
All right. For SSH, I heard you guys saying you log in as administrator or whatever.
Yep.
What I do, I didn't really get on your network this time.
Mhm.
Except day of, I told them I was gonna like grab code bases and stuff. I had the hardest time getting the VPN to work when I was there.
That track.
Yeah, but I got to it worked okay once I figured it out, from here. But but Proxmox was good enough that it didn't make me want to run away from it like vSphere did sometimes. So that was cool. But yeah, for SSH, a lot of times I just generate a key pair and only keep the key pair on my laptop, which is forbidden from the red team to use it.
That's what we did last.
Yeah, and then if I stay off the network or delete my private key, I probably leave the private key on there, but if I keep I leave my public key on there. If I keep my private key, inaccessible, then I feel pretty good about that. So that's another thing you can do, not have to use the accounts that are tied to the competition, not have to rely on a password. Although we didn't have the discussion this year about should you how do you protect root, right? Is it a certificate and then all of a sudden they can sudo? Now you've only got one protection in place, right? Or is it a certificate and then a password, right? People say don't use a password for root. Well, should you, right?
The fork bomb?
Okay, you're not going to share it?
No, my screen sharing only works like in Brave. I can only
Okay.
share other tabs.
You can't share the screen in Brave? In Brave?
So it's, if I'm not
So this
mistaken,
is my
it
actual
installs it via
machine.
Flatpak.
You're
Flatpak has a really
Yep,
weird.
this is an external on my
Because
machine.
it's sandboxed, right?
And that's gonna run the
Virtual
fork bomb.
machine or the-
Nope. Physical
This is
hardware.
bare metal.
This is bare metal.
You wanna see it, Naomi?
I don't care.
Wanna watch a fork bomb?
Well, if he has,
Center.
if it has same defaults, there is a proc limit and it will cap out.
I'm pretty sure there is, but it's really hard to stop it, even when you hit that. 'Cause-
Well, especially if you're showing it to somebody else.
yeah.
I think you can only spawn so many child processes. I think
Yeah.
the limit on Linux by default. is
Doubt it,
100.
but I don't care if it does. So
Cause it'll just turn it off and on again.
Denial of service.
yeah. Go ahead. Press it.
So come on.
But did you send it to the background?
What did I do wrong? Does that look right to you? Unexpected error near token close bracket.
All right.
Did you forget
Well,
it?
hey, I gotta get going.
I think it's because the ampersand is gonna send it to the background, and so then that ends the command. I just get rid of the
Enjoy
ampersand.
My wonderful flurry of memes I have dumped in the.
They were nice. I like
Yeah.
that.
Hey, you know what? If I wasn't so busy with
Yeah. Okay.
trying to put out that LDAP fire, I could have come up with some pretty good memes for green and red team.
Every 5 minutes.
Okay,
you know, we
I'm
just
gonna
gotta
look
sit
this
down
up.
again.
Oh, yeah, our uptime graph, I've never seen one like that. Was that LDAP going
That
up?
was LDAP. That sure as heck was LDAP.
And that hurt our usability,
Oh, I
right?
forgot parentheses. I forgot
Oh,
parentheses.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
So did you ever figure out why LDAP kept crashing every 5 minutes?
But the team one did put their code out on
Does that mean you have to buy
GitHub,
another computer?
public. So we can,
Yeah.
they're the ones that
Go
won.
look at it.
The worst.
Yeah.
So the nice.
I think I
thing with
cloned
fork
it already.
bombs
Did you say they were the high school team too?
in
They were,
general,
yeah.
The only.
I have a theory about this.
I forgot parentheses.
The only damage that will, because there, you can see that it's getting a lot more sluggish. That's it actively spawning child processes.
The fan just spun up.
So, yeah, so as you can see that it's now, so this is the Linux kernel crashing out right now.
Temporary and.
Oh shoot! It's not. Oh, because it's the GPU. That's.
So you're,
Yeah. So it's running out of process IDs.
Yeah.
Linux, modern Linux kernels enforce a process limit to prevent this kind
what's
of.
the highest PID? 65,535 or something like that?
Well, it's a soft PID limit enforced by the sys control interface to, to prevent.
No,
itself.
He just has to restart it. There's
Yeah.
this is an activity that's happening in software, in code. It's not, the hardware is just doing what he tells it to do. But the hardware is not saying, oh my gosh. The hardware is just saying, okay, I can do that. And then the software is saying, yeah, but I can't do it. You know,
So your worst case scenario was stuff like this, and as long as you don't find a way to override some sort of a temp monitor. and
Honestly,
break
it's
the hardware.
probably gonna OOM first because of too much buffer writing into the console that it can't because
Yeah.
it's not
How
fast
would you
enough.
stop it if you want to? Just like say.
You do Control C, but
Control C,
honestly,
sure.
it's probably too late to Control C.
But yeah, as long as
Can I
you,
try it?
You could go ahead.
I think there's a 200 PID limit though.
Try it
Linux enforces that in the kernel level.
yeah,
Child process
tree, yeah.
So you're.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gotta
'cause,
finish
I mean,
writing all that out.
It's
before it can
typical, it's
cancel.
recommended
Your
to
worst
bring
case
that
is you
down
set
even
this up
lower.
Where are the
like you
kernel
need, like, auto-
parameters
like,
these
you
days?
Restart, you would
I
auto.
remember like in
something,
Unix, there
or
used to be this
it
place you
does
go
it
and set the
every time.
semaphores and all that. It was like
You basically have
one
to drop it.
screen.
Like
Are they
the
just, are they in proxy?
Or run another.
You know what I'm talking about?
For the runtime
USB
kernel config,
Yeah, or
that's
like
XC,
a
just
USB
enter
or other
Yeah.
alternate boot in.
FYSDPL, and you can modify it.
Yep.
If you, in real time, you can just use sysctl. Not system, it's a sys.
So it's not here
It's
on,
not in
on
system.
we
Yeah, I
use
got
the-
prompt.
Control C.
Is
Oh, it's not in system D?
It's in SYSCTL or sysctl.
Oh, it's in,
Enter additional commands.
okay.
That's right there. So in there, you can add files
Hmm.
that change underlying
Ah.
kernel
I think I
configuration.
have to,
So as a common
You've
thing
gotta
that
ignore
administrators will do is they'll turn
no,
off
you can't do that. Okay.
route forwarding,
I think
so
you have
because
to
it'll disable your ability to be a router.
Mhm.
So you can't serve an IP because that's an
Make it work.
entire
Make it
block of
actually-
vulnerability. If you don't use IPv6, you can
Mhm.
turn that off outright.
Just to prove you can.
So it'll shut off on boot, at boot time.
It won't even be started on.
Yeah,
in the-
okay, right, it'll, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it won't even
God.
turn on.
Yeah, this.
So I wrote that article. and
Yeah.
put it in Things so you can
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah.
It's short.
So,
Okay.
And then
This
it's
is one
one
of the spaces
the
that-
end on picture that shows the team.
anyway, I gotta get going, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Ciao.
Thanks.
Arrivederci. Oh my gosh, I just thought of Saturday Night Live, Father Guido Sargent. Do you remember him?
I do.
Is the coming and going planet? That's the one I remember. The astronomers found some object that seemed to be, it had redshift both ways. Right? So he's out there, smoking his cigarette saying, so I guess they're calling it the coming and the going planet.
Sorry.
Arrivederci, America.
Well, thank you.
If I,
Thanks for coming down. I can't
if
believe
I
you're
could
still
make you
doing
a
this. Really
suggestion of
like
something
it.
you could
Yeah,
try
I
making
mean,
in PowerShell.
I'm probably gonna slow down.
Yeah.
So,
But I'm
like,
I don't know this.
I'm concerned about the future of the team and I wanna make sure, hopefully we get some people coming in through
Yep.
the summer. And I'd come in for that
You could
as well.
try, if you wanted something challenging in
But,
PowerShell.
And then I'd probably come down
Try
just
to make
to
a
talk about
game
like
where
ethics and
you're a guy that walks around.
some planning.
Then if you
Yeah,
get that
that'd be
working,
that'd be good.
try and make
We used to have a
game
guy
where
that
you push boxes around.
only, he would hang out during the year because he lived in town, but the only time he would teach
Well,
was,
You draw a
Just
guy in your
crypto.
terminal,
that was it.
you draw a guy,
I think one of his addresses.
that's the output
Gmail.
that.
Right,
But, yes, that's fun.
yeah, and then
Not an
I'll
image,
basically-
but like the little, maybe a
I've
cat
talked with
sign that
Marilyn.
represents your guy.
she's like, I'm kinda done.
You
with
let
the
that
illustration,
sign
so
move around.
Okay.
I'll handle that.
Oh, nice. Thanks.
So,
That'd be cool.
You redraw, you redraw
Keep in
everything
touch
and
that
put
way.
the action somewhere
yeah,
else.
and this has been a very good experience for at least Michael, so I want
Yeah,
to
you,
I think
I mean,
a
it
little
doesn't-
bit of pay.
He
maybe
really,
not arrow keys, but like you
really
can set the
thrived,
layout
I
and where
think.
it's at, yeah.
Yeah, he's
And
He's
you press the
loving what
button
he's doing.
and the guy moves,
Yeah.
and you press the button and the guy moves.
yeah, it's hard, but it's
And if you get that working,
Well,
you
and
also draw
I think
boxes and you have those
you could
boxes
see
interact
him,
with
this
the
was a
guy.
good place
based on where
for
he
those
is and which way
during
he
growth
moves.
years for him, not just because of this, right?
Right.
But,
Wow, I think
just socially, I think he saw him.
Well,
open
of course
up
it
a lot
would,
of
but
years. I enjoyed
Good challenge.
being around when he did that. Yeah.
actually, do you
Start by drawing a grid.
Also-
Represent the guy on the grid.
do you know Sophia Beers?
I don't think I, no.
Okay, she's in mock trial, but
I'm not in.
yeah, I know you, but you were. Yeah, so she actually came down. She was in Alabama early this week.
Yeah.
Interviewed for the
One
same
thing I was gonna say
group,
is that, so,
research group that
if you
Michael's
read
in.
like a code, do you have
So
scripts?
he's like, hey,
Why don't you
Surprise.
come sit down here so I can hear you better?
So do you
but
have
take care.
script?
AppScript is a Google thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, I used it one time to like try like making like a email spammer
Uh-huh.
kind of thing, to where you type in like the email address, you have to type in a pin, and then you type in like how many times you want to repeat and everything, and you send the person that many emails. But there's one setting on the Gmail where if you click it, if the email is like the exact same thing, it will put it in the same like email slide,
Uh-huh.
and then you just click delete and it does it all. So I thought, well, if I just add like a little tiny number after it, and the number changes each email, then it wouldn't go in a conversation view, and therefore expand all out. Well, what happened then was, for some reason, it jumped the for loop and never fulfilled the for loop. So the for loop just kept going with that command to send an email, and I was testing out myself first
Mhm.
and said like 5. But of course, it like completely ignored the for loop and jumped the number 5 and just started going.
Yeah. Well, first thing I probably want to say to you is you can get kicked off their platform for anything that looks like spamming. And
How is it?
and kicked off their platform means they might revoke your Gmail account, your Google account.
Yeah, I had that
altogether.
once. I was experimenting with Gmail, and I had something like do something by accident, and it said, "Hey, you're done with Gmail for the day." I'm like,
No, I mean, they will
I can't.
permanently suspend your Gmail account. It'll be done. You'll never log in again. This happened to some people that were using a particular AI a particular way last week without any warning or any appeals process. Their Google accounts were permanently banned. No warning, nothing. They just said, what you're doing is contrary to the terms of service. It's abusive. Bye. So I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Well, what happened is I was doing it myself
Mhm.
because I was trying to experiment with all the stuff I could do with it. So that was
Yeah.
like something fun that would go, and then I was
It is
making a
fun,
game
yeah.
after that.
Uh-huh.
So that completely failed. Like,
It is fun, but you understand what I'm saying. Yeah.
What happened instead is it never did. So I kept sending emails to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I would send an email from me and then collect an email from me. So my computer was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And like my computer, like all of a sudden I go and I click go and the computer is like, okay, I'm gonna go check my email. My mouse doesn't move. What's going on? No. So I started moving really freakishly and I like quickly click the tab, Control A, backspace, backspace, backspace. Because I did not know anything about what would happen if it kept going infinitely. Until later I found out AppScripts only has a certain amount of quotas. But I was even confused on that because I told it to reference a code from a library so no one could change the actual code and say, like, I made it to where I had a safe limit. This was supposed to be like a simple prank, like send 5-10 emails to someone. And it had a code so you couldn't like keep repeatedly do it. But in case someone's like, hey, I'm gonna be really naughty, I'm gonna go change the max limit to like 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I did is I locked it by making it a library and then put it on view. And the passcodes, if they're like using it on it like not how they're supposed to, I could change their passcode to a random thing.
Mhm.
And they wouldn't know their passcode anymore. And the thing is, they would have a small amount of code that just referenced it and told it to run on an edit. So, yeah. And I gave view access to the original code. And so I can monitor everyone's code and everything. So yeah, what happened by accident was
I'm just looking to see what.
so eventually I deleted it all. And I still got emails like 30 minutes afterwards.
Oh, so they were queued up.
I got so many emails that like it would like send me 20 emails like every like 10 seconds.
Uh-huh.
And I made it, and why that was going on after I deleted all the code, I made something within my Gmail account as a filter to take all emails from my inbox that had that exact format and send it down into the trash.
Yeah.
And then I click empty trash, empty trash, empty trash. And my teacher during math class said to not be on our Chromebook. So like every single time I go like this. Alright. I go like this. Because I was like, I'm not sure if this is gonna keep going or not.
Yeah.
So,
Your trash doesn't count against your quota, so you could have just waited.
but still, I was like
Yeah.
freaking out that I would never stop.
That sounds like an adventure. Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they must be batching.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, it's interesting because it sent over 1,000 emails, and this is like less than 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It sent over 1,000 emails, and so and the thing is, it had no delay. Also, it was told just repeatedly, infinitely do it. So yeah, and ironically, no one ever said anything about it. Like,
Yeah.
really, the school didn't notice that.
That's interesting.
It said that they monitor every single email you send. And if I sent 1,000 emails of the exact same thing.
So you send them from your school account?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is interesting.
So
But none of them were malicious, I suppose.
So that's why I was kind of asking about the crash because like I'm always like now like paranoid, like what happens if it crashes? What if it crashes?
Yes.
So
So
that'd
there,
be fun sometimes just to, like during like one class or like maybe you guys like have an assignment, crash your computer.
well, yeah, we might, like Dan was saying, we might next year because it's fun to do with virtual machine and snapshots. But real quick, I found there are a couple places you might want to look if you want to learn a little more. For PowerShell, I didn't find many free tutorials, but this one on this place called Code Academy, spelled funny, Code Academy. And I'll send this to you. It has what looks like a kind of short-ish PowerShell utility or tutorial, but it will, I went through some of this already, but click next over here. But it has a live window where you can do the things it asks you to do. At first, it's just talking to.
Host.
So yeah, it tells you.
I'm between write host, write output, and write.
Yeah, it's a good. question. So write host is, oh, it's green. It's hard to see for me. Write host will write to the easiest way to say it, and I'm not going to be like, Isaac and try to put all the asterisks around it, but the easiest way, the most common way to understand is write host will write to the screen. Write output will write to whatever the default output is right now, which is, if you're interacting with the prompt, it's the screen, but it's not always the screen, because you can redirect the default output. You can send it different places. So usually,
Edge, you could have it put it in the search bar.
well, if you're doing a script, you could say, I want the default output to go to, well, if that thing we do when we pipe one command to another, we take the output of one command, we got dir shows you the files, right? And you can take that standard output, or the default was to send it to the host. I didn't tell it what to do with these objects, so the default was to just print something to the host. But instead of doing that, I can redirect that output and send it to another command. And I can say, there's a command called select object, and I can say, I want to see I'll try to type the whole thing instead of taking shortcuts. I want to see the properties called user and name. And so I've sent that output someplace else, right? So standard, when I say write output, I'm saying put it wherever the current output goes. But when I say write host, I'm saying, no, I'm telling you, send it to the host.
And what does write mean?
It just means send the output someplace.
So it just puts it on the screen.
Puts it wherever you want. Let me see here. Get.
So if you don't
command.
specify, it sends it to the screen.
Right. If you don't specify what to do in PowerShell, since everything's an object, there's always some default way to display it. And if you don't say what to do, it just does whatever that default is. And here's
I think my dad's here.
okay. But just so you know, here's the defaults. There's only a few things you can do. Like you can write, there are these different streams, a debug stream, error stream, host stream information. Those are the things you can say, I want you to write this.
I also made one that you could do like files, but then you put like a word after it in the quotations, and it'll search the files for that.
Yeah. So I'll send you this. And you'll need an account for this. And then there's this other place called W3 Code that a lot of people like to use, but it doesn't have PowerShell on it. So I wanted to find this too. It has a number of other languages, like web languages and things. All right. Yep.
Okay. There we go. Now Control C works.
There we go. He's got the bug, man.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be a beast.
You like Ruby code?
I have not used Ruby. I regard it highly based on what people say about it and all that. If you'd like, I could get out Claude and become a Ruby programmer. So do you like it?
It's a nice language.
Is it performance and security? Is that it's
more like
It's a
program happiness, honestly.
oh yeah, quality of life.
Like trying to remember the piece syntax. Yeah. Basically you're right, it's kind of like Python, except it has end instead of colons. So it's not indent based, it's oh yeah, case when. So yeah. In this case, right, yeah, I've got definitions and everything. But of course, parentheses are also optional. Or I got break if.
Break if?
Yeah. So break out of this loop.
Uh-huh.
If.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Then the condition.
Instead of if blah blah break.
Yep. This is Emacs, by the way.
Yeah, I thought about learning Emacs, but then I was like, I don't really need to. I'm 61 and I know Vim.
I use evil mode, so I don't
What's
know
that?
Emacs. I use evil mode. It's Emacs but with Vim keybinds.
Uh,
So yeah, when I'll say W layer os.
oh, so you can do domain specific languages. It allows code to generate at runtime, enabling flexible DSO dynamic behaviors, highly reusable abstractions. This is one of Ruby's most distinctive technical advantages. I'm listening, I'm just reading also.
So I can have yeah, I have case and then when. So yeah, that works as you'd expect. You have case statement.
Yep.
And different branches it goes down. You don't have to break though, which is interesting.
Which means you can't run more than one.
Yeah.
I grew up on case statements that only ran one and exited. So I always have to remind myself in a language. Usually you remember pretty fast when you run the first test. It's like they all happened.
Passing a point to move cursor and take point row as that and point all as that.
So you're trying to get Control C to work for a fork bomb?
No, it's not a fork bomb. This is a little mini game. Move cur to player os.
I wondered if you were maybe working on a mini game to try to give to Axel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one here, this is pretty cool syntax in my opinion. If you have a bare, the first word of your line here, right? This is the same as if I were to put parentheses around it, but I don't have to. And I could also pass second arg, right? Which I think is pretty cool. So move cursor, then print in @ sign. Oh, okay. You're right, because @ is syntax.
That's interesting though, without the parentheses. So in a lot of languages, the parentheses are the call operator, right?
Yep.
And nice. So that's cool. So that's how so I wonder if there's a way in Ruby to name the function without invoking it.
I think you have to use a
Like a pointer thing.
I think you use the colon for that.
Okay.
Like,
but there's a name, there's a way.
yeah. And that's also useful if I have like a the equivalent of a dictionary. I think they call it hash, where you set that, and then I could have strings that yield results, right? And I could have a couple of these. Yes, I know it's a duplicate key.
But just wait.
But I could also have them be these, I forget what they call them. And I could, and then, you'd index that as. Yeah, you'd index it that way.
It's interesting. So instead of literals, it's almost like enumerators, but enumerations.
Yeah. And it's good if you have like :X or :Y.
Was evil mode the name of the editor?
No, so it's still Emacs, but evil mode is the plugin that lets you move around like
that's what's going on with your line orders.
Yeah, and then
on line 9, but then those are offsets. I could see that being useful in BI because a lot of people for line commands want to say dot comma dot -8.
Yeah,
say that's my range.
In regular Vim, you can set number.
Right.
And that'll add line numbers.
Yep, I did that.
But you can also set relative number.
the same thing, yeah.
And yep, same thing.
But I'm old and I just say like 18, 33 most of the time,
But yeah, you can move around. It's just like Vim if
Yeah.
you
Cool.
use your keys. Like
but it's Emacs.
yeah, and Emacs is a very nice editor.
Did you see differences between, is the context? Do you find it easier to turn it into an IDE with context and everything?
Yeah. For some reason it's not working in this code here, but like capital K is bound to docs. So if I do capital K, I search on, I don't know, GitHub apparently. It's
Whoops.
not happy. Okay. If I search end on Google, what does end mean? Yeah. So it'll look that up. The same.
Look it up within the context of the language.
Yeah, usually, but for some reason here it's not
It's not.
coming up with any docs and only saying, oh, you can search on all these different things like Wolfram Alpha apparently is in here by default.
Do they have the Ruby docs in there?
They should. I don't know why they don't.
Or maybe it's got, it was popping up things though about Ruby, so maybe it's got something.
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah. If I select this line and try on Google. The Ruby code require IO console loads IO console. Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Cool.
And then it's also got this whole buffer system, so. Oh yeah, Doom Emacs. Which includes Evil by default. Private config. I don't know. I could look at the main config. I got all my personal settings. Should probably zoom in.
Will it take my plugins?
Probably not.
That's my
But it has
those
some
are my
versions.
golden handcuffs right now that make it hard for me to switch. But on the other hand, I don't have IDE style stuff. I miss that. I keep saying, oh, I should put in stuff for, good stuff for Bash and Python and whatnot. And then I just don't
Yeah.
have the time and I haven't done it. This is actually a great thing. I should have AI walk me through because I just don't know how to do it. And they've changed their plugin. There's like 2 or 3 ways to do it. I know I've got plugins that are in 2 ways.
And NeoVim has its Lua plugins.
Yes. You're back.
Anyway, sorry to keep you so long.
Oh, no, it's okay. Margie knows that I come back sometime on Saturday.
Be better, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Picture you, is that okay? Sure. I always forget to take pictures. Family MO is food and people. And mine is, oh, I forgot to take pictures this week again. So, okay. And thank you. You can tell my selfies because they're never straight. Have a good week.
Do. Thank you.